We get into the crisis defined. It's really a time of intense difficulty. And so, again, I'll keep going back to it can also be personal. If you look at a divorce, you look at financial trouble, you look at the death of a spouse or family member, and then you take those characteristics and you apply them to a search and rescue mission, you apply it to a fire response, all of those things, they're really essentially the same. The definition of a crisis is really, it's about time of intense difficulty and where important decisions must be made. So that's our working definition of crisis today. And again, we can deep dive into crisis, what it means, but this is essentially our working definition for this conversation today. So I will ask this question for you. A crisis, is it a danger or is it an opportunity? It's a Sun Tzu factor, we call it. There's danger and there's opportunity. What do you think? Why?
Because I think you can learn something from it.
Okay, so you're saying it's an opportunity, so if I'm hearing you correctly, because we can learn something from it, okay? And so what?
So then you have beta for the rest of your life.
Okay, perfect. All right, good. Okay, I like that. Any other thoughts?
Assuming you make it through the first one.
Yeah.
It's all about balance, right? Yeah. If you live, it's great. I like where we're going with this. You know, it's kind of interesting. To that point, sometimes going through crisis, you are actually weaker afterwards because you're scared shitless of it happening again. Because it was a big scar tissue learning event, right? It's like, oh my God, I don't want to do that again. But we'll talk a bit about that. Okay, so danger, opportunity. Let's continue going down that path. Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity because if you look at it as if you do nothing, then it's going to be rebel, and you have the opportunity to think about how you might affect it for the better.
Ah, okay. All right. So basically, it's an opportunity for us to affect the environment, affect change, something like that. Because if we don't do anything, it's going to potentially get worse. Yeah, I'd agree with that. What else? Danger, opportunity? How about this side?
I'm going to go still more opportunity because then danger is like you're scared. To me, danger means like, I don't know. That's
okay. Yeah.
I don't want to be in fear of anything. So.
Right. Okay.
The psychological impacts that happen once you accept, the crisis is something that's paralyzing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing too is we're actually talking about the psychological danger or opportunities around this for sure. So has anyone gone through crisis and it absolutely exploded your team or your family unit or whatever that might be? You gone through that? Okay, yeah, temporarily. Right. Yeah, very good point. And conversely, I think we've all, yeah.
Sorry to derail. I actually am not arguing with danger with either of the outside words. I think the problem is the inside word, perhaps danger and opportunity.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. But here's actually, that's really a good segue. I should pay you are you American? US? So if I pay you $5 Canadian, it's not going to mean much. So never mind. I'll just say good point. There we go.
Sponsors Visa.
There you go. Now here, you know what? And here's why I draw that's why I actually did or opportunity. The difference, whether it's an and or if it's just an and or just an or, the difference in our context is leadership. If you think about that, that is the ultimate opportunity for a leader to take his or her team, the team they support, taking a shitty situation and leading them and helping them and supporting them so that even if it starts as a danger, part of the leadership journey, part of the leadership job is to take that danger and translate it into an opportunity for growth, learning, all of those other things. So definitely I agree it's an and or, but in some leadership situations, we are guided by fear. And it's just a danger. It's not even an opportunity. Oh my gosh, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, happened to us, we're screwed, I have no idea what to do. So that's kind of that fixed mindset where it becomes a danger. But as a leader, that's a great opportunity for us to really invoke leadership and taking the who of our people through that crisis. Because it's not about what? So the difference between a danger or opportunity comes down to, a lot of cases, leadership. And if you think about the high-performing teams you've been on in the past, that you've gone through bad calls, you've gone through great calls on the athletics, you've had good teams, and so on and so forth. A lot of that really comes down to leadership and how the leader impacted that team's dynamic and the team's ability to move through this. So the point is really around, the meta point is about, crisis is actually a great opportunity. It really, really is. So as a leader, lean into it. Lean into it. Don't back off and be risk averse and make decisions based on fear. I fully agree. This is fantastic. Now, I'm not encouraging crisis. I'm like, yeah, good. Let's do this. Let's blow this thing up. But if it's going to happen, which crisis inevitably does, your job as a leader is to lean in, engage. There is not one problem that's ever been solved by disengaging, particularly in our line of work. And let's face it, sometimes it's easier to just lean back, be risk averse, not make a decision, and so on and so forth. So it's an opportunity for us as leaders. Plus, crisis itself is a great textbook for leadership principles. People are stressed out, you're stressed out, time is compressed. The list goes on in terms of all the variables that go into crisis. So it's actually a great petri dish for leadership training. It really is. So the point is, with regard to as a leader, lean in, treat it like an opportunity, because it really, really is. And if you're not treating it like an opportunity as a leader, what do you think your team is going to be doing?
Not so well.
Not so well. Not so well.